David anointed king. The story of Samuel anointing David as king of Israel is a powerful story found in the first book of Samuel, chapter 16. It captures a critical transition in Israel's history, moving from its first king, Saul, to David, whom the Bible described as a man after God's heart. The story begins with the prophet Samuel mourning for Saul, the first king of Israel. God had chosen Saul, but the king had repeatedly disobeyed the Lord's commands. God, therefore, told Samuel, "How long will you mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and go, I will send you to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have chosen a king for myself among his sons." This means God had found a man, one after his own heart, to replace Saul. Samuel was afraid because he thought Saul would kill him if he heard about the plan. But God instructed Samuel on how to go about it. Samuel was to go to Bethlehem taking a heifer with him, to make a sacrifice to the Lord, and God would show him the man he had chosen there. Samuel arrived in Bethlehem and invited Jesse and his sons to the sacrifice. When Jesse's sons came out, Samuel saw the eldest, Eliab. Eliab was tall and handsome, possessing the physical qualities people often look for in a king. Samuel thought, "Surely the Lord's anointed is here." However, God immediately corrected Samuel, giving one of the Bible's most famous verses, "Do not look at his appearance or at the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." This established the fact that God's choice would be based on character, not physical might or status. Jesse then made his next 6 sons pass before Samuel, one by one, Abinadab, Shammah, and 4 others. Each time, Samuel declared, "Neither has the Lord chosen this one." After all 7 sons of Jesse had passed, Samuel was perplexed. He asked Jesse, "Are all your sons here?" Jesse replied, "There remains yet the youngest, and there he is keeping the sheep." Maybe, David's father, Jesse, considered the youngest son, David, unremarkable or unimportant that made him not to even have called him in from his work. But the way of God is far different from that of man. Samuel instructed Jesse to send for David, stating, "We will not sit down till he comes here." David finally arrived. The Bible describes him as ruddy, with beautiful eyes and a handsome appearance. As soon as David entered, God told Samuel, "Arise, anoint him, for this is the one." Samuel took his horn of oil and anointed David in the midst of his brothers. The act of anointing with oil symbolized that David was being set apart for a special assignment, to be the next king of Israel. And immediately, the Spirit of the Lord came upon David mightily from that day forward. At the same time, the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul. From that moment on, David was the chosen king, though he would not actually take the throne for many years. He returned to his humble life as a shepherd, now secretly carrying the weight and the blessing of God's anointing. From the story, we can learn. God looks beyond physical appearance, he looks at the heart. God may choose to use the humble and overlooked for a divine assignment. Disobedience leads to consequences. God makes provision for successors, he doesn't leave a vacuum. The Spirit of God empowers for service.